Okay, guys, we're gonna go over our homework. I've placed this homework in a Nearpod, and if you want to follow along with the Nearpod, do not use this code that's at the top. You're going to use the code that I link in the YouTube video. If you cannot get to the link that's in the YouTube video, it will also be on our Google Classroom site. Okay, we worked on this today in class, and I'm using this cursor so my writing may be a little weird, or I'll use the text feature so it might not line up. So make sure that you're paying attention. So in class, for our foundation skills this week, we've been talking about syllable patterns, vowel consonant, and a consonant and a vowel. Follow along. Syllable patterns, VC slash CV, which means vowel consonant slash consonant vowels, have two consonants in the middle of them. The vowel sound in the first syllable is often short. Each syllable in the vowel consonant vowel word ends in a consonant. That means each syllable is closed. So here's an example of what we're talking about. When we divide the words by their syllables, when we talk about syllables, we're talking about the break in the word. So for examples, it says divide vowel consonant vowel words between the two consonants, such as pencil. So when we put our hand here, where every time our chin hits our hand, that is a break in the word. Pencil. So now, just like here, in between the two consonants, you see this example? In between the two consonants, that is the break in the word. And barber, in between the two consonants, that's the break in the word. Doing this will help you read VC slash CV pattern words. So now let's do these together. I think I'm gonna try it like this. So we have lum, then we have burr. This looks crazy. Okay, you know, then we have gar. Then we have din. Okay, so now you are going to do forgot and comfort on your own. At the bottom, you have your high frequency words. High frequency words show up often and don't always follow the rules, so we have to know them when we see them. Practice these words, say them to yourself, write those words. Now let's move on. Here again, we have the same thing that we were talking about on the previous slide, syllable patterns. And right here, I'm going to write out a few, and then you are going to do the rest on your own. So in between the two consonants, we have S and K, basket. So let's write that there, and let's put the slash in the middle. That shows that we know the difference, okay? I'm going to make this a little skinny. So we have, oh Lord, ba slash get. So it's two syllables. And then we have subject. Sub. In between the two consonants, B and J. That is the break. Ject. Now, I know this looks crazy. You guys do the rest on your own. Make sure that it doesn't look that crazy. Try to use the text feature if you're going to use the Nearpod. Okay, simple sentences. A simple sentence expresses a complete thought. Like, for example, if I was to say on top, you'll be like, on top of what? You need a complete thought. It has a subject and a predicate. The subject is who. Okay, I'm going to highlight that. The subject is who or what the sentence is about. Now let's get a different color. The predicate includes a verb and tells what the subject is doing. So the predicate includes a verb and tells what the subject is or doing. A subject and a verb must agree. This means a singular, which means one subject, like a girl, takes a singular verb. A girl runs. A girl, what else can a girl do? A girl talks. Now, a plural verb takes a plural subject takes a plural verb. Sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a period or a, I'm just going to put, instead of saying a period, we're going to say a punctuation mark. So punctuation marks include periods, question marks, and exclamation points. So let's take a look at this. Let's get a different color. Who or what? Here's the subject. Action or state of being, the predicate, the verb. And let's make a sentence out of the two. Clay, sheep. Clay, sheep, sheep. Clay, sleep. Clay sleeps late. The cat. That's what it's about. Who or what it's about. Here's what they do. Chase. The cat chases a mouse. They like. They like the zoo. Now, let's look down here. Edit this draft to make sure each simple sentence expresses a complete thought and use subject-verb agreement. Add missing words, capital letters, and punctuation marks. So let's change this. Okay. All right. Leah walk her dog. Leah does what? She walks. So I'm going to add an S here. Leah walks her dog. Bo, it starts to rain. Run home. It starts to rain. Run home. Bo, see a giant mud puddle. Rolls in it. Then Bo gets up. He off the mud. This covers Leah with she is angry. So let's start here. So we have Leah walks her dog. Bo, it starts to rain. So let's add they here. Run home. Bo sees a giant mud puddle. Rolls in it. So he, capital H, got to add that here, rolls in it. Then, this should be capital, because that's a period. Bo gets up. Okay, he rolls in it. Then Bo gets up. He off the mud. This covers Leah with. Bo gets up. Then Bo gets up off. I can't even make sense of this, guys. We'll come back to this later. I don't want to waste time because I only have a few minutes. So we can clearly see this needs some fixing, and I'm going to come back to it in my next video. I want you guys to circle this like that so we can move on. Okay, moving on to the next thing. This is a personal narrative. It says, oh, like fiction, personal narratives have the setting, that's when and where the story takes place. The setting can affect the events. The events are the things that happen in the story. So, for example, if it was a rainy day and I had my umbrella, or thinking about the other story, it was a rainy day and a mud puddle happened and the dog got in a puddle and the girl got messed up. That event couldn't happen without the rain. The sequence of events includes the beginning, middle, and end. So the setting, okay, work with a partner. You don't have to because this is homework, or grab a parent. Read a personal narrative from your library. I have a personal narrative that is student written on the next slide. Use details from the text to answer the question. So here we go. My summer. So this personal narrative is something that she wrote. It's personal. So it's going to have events that happen to her. It's going to use words like I, me, and my. Ring, ring. I, that gives us a clue that's a personal narrative, jumped for joy at the sound of the school bell on the last day of school. I couldn't wait for school to be out because I knew I was going to have an amazing summer. First of all, I went to Arizona to visit my Aunt Cindy. For 2 weeks, I had fun with my favorite aunt. When she saw me, she said, "How's my favorite niece?" I replied, "I'm your only niece." We had a great time shopping, swimming, and what is that? Baking. Oh, I see now. That's a that's okay. Sorry. Baking cookies. It's always great to visit Aunt Cindy. After I got back home, I stayed up late many nights and watched a lot of movies. I like scary movies, but my mom always says scary movies help keep you up at night. She won't let me watch them during the school year. However, she lets me watch some scary movies in the summer since I don't have to get up for school. Staying up late is awesome. Finally, I did my favorite activity of all. I worked on my crafty scrap booking project where there were boxes of pictures just waiting for me to turn them into a cute scrapbook pages. I missed my friends from school, so I enjoyed creating colorful pages to help me remember all the fun we had. I made some fantastic scrapbook pages. I like school, but I love summer. It's really the best time of year. I wish it would never end. So the first thing it says setting. Where and when does this story take place? So this story takes place during the summer. And of course, let me write a complete sentence since we just talked about this. This story takes place in the summer. All right. What is the problem? Now, sometimes there isn't a really big problem that has to be solved, but the problem here is or was she um she can't wait for summer. What happened first? And I'm trying to make this shorthand. I know we want to have complete sentences, but I also want you guys to be able to see. She went to Arizona to visit her aunt. I'm going to just put visit aunt. but you should put she went to Arizona to visit her aunt if you have your paper. Then what happened next? She stayed up late watching movies. So she stayed up late watching movies. I'm just going to put watching, watched movies. But we know it's because she stayed up late. She liked to stay up late. And next we have she worked on a scrapbook. Scrapbook. Okay. All right. So when we talk about sequence of events, we're talking about time order. How do we know a sequence of events relationship is happening? We see words like first, second, next, finally. It shows the order in which things happen. Now, personal narrative. A personal narrative is a true retelling of an event or memory in a writer's life. Who's going to be the writer here? You're going to be the writer. So I want you to think back on a memory or an event in your life. Personal narratives use pronouns I, me, or mine. Like fiction stories, personal narratives have a developed setting and sequence of events. Use your personal narrative. You use the personal you have the personal narrative you have read to fill out this chart. Who is the narrator? What did you learn about the narrator? So the narrator is a girl. We do not know her name. We know she is a girl because it says niece. So she is a girl that loves summertime. Where do the events take place? When do the events take place? So we knew that no, the events take place. The events take place in the summer. This means at her aunt's house and her house. Okay, we're gonna have to make this smaller. Okay, maybe I should highlight it first. It's too big. Okay, what happened? What is the problem? How is the problem solved? Start off with 14. The girl can't wait for summer. The problem is solved in the beginning of her personal narrative with a ring with, let's do the ringing of the bell. So remember in the beginning, the bell goes ring ring and she's out for the summer. The problem was that she couldn't wait for the summer. At the end, it says she loves school, but summer is her favorite time of year. Narrator. The main person in a personal narrative is the narrator. A narrator is a person who tells the story. So, you know, when you're reading a story and you hear once upon a time, Who's talking? Is it one of the characters? No, it's the narrator. The narrator is a person outside of the story telling the story. So just like the girl was telling the story to us, it says the narrator's purpose is to share a special memory or experience. Narrators reveal their thoughts and feelings when they recount events in their narrative. For example, they may include details to show they are joyful, disappointed, or angry. Think about a personal narrative you have read. Record the narrator's thoughts. So, we know that the narrator in our story in the beginning of the story said, let's go back to it so we can get the exact wording. I jumped for joy at the sound of the bell on the last day of school. I couldn't wait. I want you to look at for school to be out because I knew I was going to have an amazing summer. So, let's think about this. Sometimes when we're excited and we can't wait and we're sitting and we're looking around and we're shaking and we're looking at the clock, waiting for it to go, we are anxious. So her thoughts were she couldn't wait for the bell. She couldn't wait for the bell because she wanted. So her thoughts was let's make that smaller. She couldn't wait for school to be out. How did this, how did she feel? She was excited. Oh, she was very excited. She was waiting for school to be out. She was excited. Now, I want you guys to think about some other thoughts and feelings that she may have had. I know she felt happy. What's one of the reasons, or go back to some of the thoughts that she had and tell me a thought that she may have had that would have made her happy. Okay. Now it's time for us to work on our own personal narratives. When writing personal narratives, writers often brainstorm or make a list of ideas. So when I'm telling you to brainstorm, you see that word or? That's giving me a definition or make a list of ideas. So what do I want you to do? Make a list of ideas. Brainstorming can help you focus on the topic or what you are writing about. It can also help you determine a purpose or why you are writing and an audience or the people you will who will read your writing. Ideas to write about. You can write about a family trip, a summer vacation, focus on my topic, going to the park, going to the lake. Focus on the moment. What did you do? Did you hike, catch fish? Think about some important events in your life. Brainstorm a topic, a purpose, and an audience for your personal narrative. You're going to do this at home with an adult. Plan your personal narrative. So this you guys can do on your own. We've talked about personal narratives. We talked about simple sentences. Make sure your sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark. On our next homework video that I will make, I will go back over that last page that we didn't finish. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night.